What's going on, guys? 360 Digital Closing Bell here. I am your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner. We are live on YouTube from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado on this gorgeous and hot Denver, June 24th, 2020. It is a Wednesday, middle of the week, hump day for everybody. That means it's also crude inventories day. As always, we are joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. Stu, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. Michael, one of these days I'm going to pay you for being nice.
No problem. I'll get you my direct deposit slip right after the show. We have a great show for you guys lined up. We're going to touch on just a couple little equities things, crude inventory, crazy crude inventory numbers come across. Stu's got some interesting stuff on the news desk and markets. We'll get into how the markets were today. But first, guys, just subscribe to the 360 Digital Closing Bell, iTunes, Spotify, or Entercom's YouTube channel. The best way for all of your energy finance stuff. We come to you every single day on the Digital Ticker and also do long form shows covering what's coming up and what happened in the week that was and upcoming in energy. I mean, when we look at the overall markets today, an absolute bloodbath. It really, Dow was at one point down 800 points, settles about 700 points below. And really, it's a lot to do with coronavirus numbers. Florida has seen an increase of 10% infection rate up now to 15%, and that's day over day. New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut are also doing a mandatory self-quarantine, not mandatory, but voluntary self-quarantine from travelers coming from specific states. The states are as following. So if you're traveling to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, and you're from Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Washington, Utah, or Texas, you are subjugated to a self-quarantine of 14 days of $2,000 for the first violation, $5,000 for the second. And if you do not and if you get caught, they will make you mandatory quarantine. Who knows how they'll do that? But just to give you an idea, that's what's pulling the markets down today. SPY was down 30.50. That's 81 point drop or 2.5% on the index. Tech stocks closing below 10,000 for the first time in a couple days, down 200 points or about 2 percentage points off that index. And as mentioned, Dow Jones down as much as 800 points, settling only about 700 points down, 2.75 percentage points down to 25,445. Crude oil got hit hard today, $37.93 currently trading at. That's $2.50 wiped out on the index or about 6%. 12-month strip fares a little bit better, but not much, finishing below $40 for the first time in a couple weeks. $39.50, about a $1.70 decrease for that. That's 4.5 percentage points wiped out of that index. Natural gas doesn't it gets hit. So, I mean, this is why it's coronavirus numbers, because everything's hit hard. Generally, you see a nice balance between crude oil down, natural gas up, but no, we see natural gas down $1.59, 2.5 percentage points or about 4 cents off that index. Back into the curve though for natural gas, sort of hold strong, only down 0.75 percentage point, $2.70. That's a 2-cent drop. XOP, which is our E&P securities, bloodbath, down 7.18 percentage points. That's $4 off the index, down to 51.19. OIH, which are oil field services, does not fare better. 118.08. That's 8.5% drop to the downside, or $11 off the index. And when we look on the our biggest gainers and losers on equity, it wasn't really that we see huge numbers on the downside. I mean, some of our top companies definitely lost a lot, but I mean, it was really just pretty much everybody was down that 7%. That median spread wasn't definitely as well. And Conterra Energy finishes in third place, if you want to call it place, $3.26, down to 16.84%, or excuse me, 16 percentage points on the downside. Oasis Petroleum, a pure Bakken player, down to 78 cents, 18 percentage points off their index, off their equities. And Lillis Energy Inc. Never heard of these guys. LLEX. Love their ticker symbol though. They're down 25 percentage points, down to 30 cents on the nose. When we look at the upside though, there were, as always, some shining lights. Only 5 of them though. But Warrior Medical Coal, so coal's up 3 percentage points, up to 15.75. Next Decade Corporation was up 5 percentage points, $2.40. And Sundance Energy up to $2.95, an 8.4% increase. Guys, please, if you have not gone to the oilandgasconference.com, I've been talking about it on the show for the past couple of weeks. Please do that. It's the best investor relations conference, and they are coming to you for the first time in a digital format. This is giving everybody in the world, not just US, world, access to high-level investor presentations. You're going to see over a list of 40 presenting countries. You can also attend if you're in certain cities, but really just sign up for their online event. It's going to be awesome. It's super cost-effective. You can find out all information at theoilandgasconference.com. Stu, what's going on the international news desk today?
Hey, Michael, thank you very much. We've got a couple things going on, and you and I have been following these tankers that are trying to skirt around
Yep.
Venezuelan sanctions. They've got now 16 tankers that are carrying 18.1 million barrels of Venezuelan oil are stuck at sea around the globe because the refineries are refusing delivery. Let me give you a tidbit on that. Some inside baseball. $30,000 a day that a ship is sitting on the ocean without unloading.
Unbelievable. And that's no chump change right there. I mean, we were on an interview today with Data Gumbo talking about some big numbers on saving. You can save some money by not floating oil. And that's one of the things that if you go back and listen to an interview we did with Chris Dinkler at Inverness, or excuse me, Rob McBride at Inverness. Yeah, we do so many interviews, I get them confused. He talked about, we mentioned refineries are the bottleneck here. As all this production comes back online, it's the refineries that are the bottleneck, and you're seeing it play out in this story.
Unbelievable, Michael. Back to you.
Yeah, and so so these refineries will definitely be the bottleneck. Just a couple things that came across my desk yesterday afternoon after the show closed, and today. Obviously, crude inventories dropped today, and one of the big themes that we talked about on my long form podcast Monday was our outlook for this week was production coming back online, and that's exactly what the EIA showed today. 500,000 barrel increase per day, week over week, up to 11 million barrels. So you can see some of that shut-in production beginning to come back online. Cushing crude stocks, though, we're down 1 million barrels, though, which is good to see. 45 million.8 barrels, which is now getting right in line with that 5-year averages. Total DOE crude inventories, 1.4 million barrels. That's the big news of the day. I mean, coronavirus sort of overshadowed a lot of the equity news. Two big things that sort of came across my plate on that front. If you're following the bankruptcies, CEO of Extraction Matt Owens just sold the last of his common stocks yesterday for a cool 2.5 million. So a nice little parting present. We always joke, what's a couple million between friends? And the last thing, one of our friends at Northern Oil and Gas, we love them over there, ticker symbol NOG. They are doing a stock split. They're still evaluating what they want to do between 1 and 10, or excuse me, between a 10 to 1 and a 6 to 1. But it'd be very interesting. Could be seeing them trading up in the 20s after this is done. Sort of a light day, as we mentioned, coronavirus. Unfortunate coronavirus news sort of overshadowed, and the theme of the day, as I told Stu multiple times, was bloodbath. So with that, we're going to go ahead and let you guys get back to work. Thank you for checking out the 360 Digital Closing Bell. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the digital ticker.